We're getting ready for spring here at Team Rehab. I'm with Dr. Lee Simon, who is one of he's the physical therapist that 3 times now has gotten me back on the course, back on the tennis courts. In our previous segments, we looked at the core, making sure our back is protected, sides and abs. What do we need to do from here up?
So if we're talking golf, tennis, any of that, we really need to protect the shoulders. We see a lot of that this time of year with people coming in with more impingement type signs and rotator cuff issues.
Pickleball too, when you go up for, that quick lunge that you make can really blow things up.
Yep, absolutely. So making sure that those cuff tendons are healthy and that we're getting good movement of our shoulder blades is very important. If we don't have good mobility in our shoulder blades, then you're kind of setting the rotator cuff up for failure. So the exercises that we're going to go over, really focusing on trying to get our lower trapezius muscle to fire, which helps to rotate our shoulder blade to give more clearance for these rotator cuff tendons so they're not getting pinched down as much, and it improves their ability to actually function. So we can get into those.
Okay. Begin the suffering.
So this first one we're going to go over, I'm going to have you put that around your hands just like that, and we're going to go up to this wall here.
Oh, I remember this now. Okay.
So this might be a little bit different than what you remember. I'm going to have you slide all the way up, and then from here you're focusing on keeping these down. Okay, so these are your upper trap muscles. We don't want these very active. They're going to do the opposite of what we're looking for. So I want you to try to lift your hands and arms off of the wall by getting almost a tilting of your shoulder blades here.
Okay, I like that.
Yep, and then back down. And then you can slide. I'll either have people slide back down and go back up, or I just have them do lift-offs of the wall. And you'll see that this is a lot more tiring than what you would expect when done properly.
It really requires focus to keep those shoulders down.
Yep.
Also, you don't want to strain your neck by
Correct.
doing a lot of
Yep.
this, right?
So this also helps with getting thoracic extension, which we really need when we're getting into these overhead motions for like a tennis serve. If we don't have good thoracic extension, it's going to help to, or it's going to certainly beat up our shoulders even more.
3 sets of 10, something like that?
Depends on what they can tolerate.
If
This one I might go a little bit lower on depending on the resistance. People usually tucker out pretty quick with that one.
Okay.
Okay.
And these are simple to find. I mean, this is a simple Amazon.
We order all of ours on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Number 2?
Number 2, we're going to grab a kettlebell here. And so this, we're going to actually, and this can be done with a dumbbell as well. I would just have somebody grab the bottom end of the dumbbell, not the actual handle, and hold it vertically.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to bring them up into this position here where the elbow is in line with the shoulder. You want to make sure that this doesn't start to wing out here. Okay, so this is straight on the whole time. And then I'll have them just hold here and do a walk back and forth. So we've got a turf field in here, so I'll have them do, 2 down and backs or something like that. In their house, they can just walk their living room.
Okay.
So I'll have them bring it up here. Yep.
Okay. This is just like a 5-pounder?
That is about 8 pounds.
Okay.
Yep. And so then once they add in that walking element, now it's going to get a little bit shakier and you've got to stabilize even more.
I've actually done this on stairs.
Even better.
and that's a challenge.
Yep, and then you can get into the more advanced stages where I'll actually have them push all the way up here and hold it into a nice stable position and then do the walk. Again, focusing on not getting too much activity of their upper trap
In
here.
terms of where it should it be over your shoulder? We don't want to get it behind, but where should the position of
You want to try to get it over your shoulder as much as they can tolerate. This is going to be very different between each person because it depends on what their mobility is, both in their shoulder and in their thoracic spine. So that's a big thing to work on, but it has to be a comfortable slot for them.
But again, this is going to keep, for instance, deceleration injuries with when you're following through with the golf club?
It's going to help a lot for that, but also when they're coming up into a serve or even when they're coming into their backswing, it's going to allow that shoulder blade to rotate out the way it needs to allow for more clearance of these rotator cuff tendons.
Overheads as well on pickleball.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Yep.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yep.
Okay, for number 3, we're on the floor.
On the floor. So we're looking for another shoulder blade stabilizer muscle here to do its job. So I'm going to have you get into a full plank position here. The muscle we're going to be targeting with this is called serratus anterior. So this is a modified push-up that we're going to be doing. You're not going to be doing any movement at your elbows here. Instead, you're going to think about pushing the floor away. So you see how you get that rounding at the top here that causes your shoulder blades to come out to the side. Okay, so this muscle here goes from your shoulder blade, wraps around your rib cage. So it's allowing, so it's allowing for that movement of the shoulder blade to go along your rib cage and really gives it a lot of stability.
It's almost like cow and cat in yoga, right?
A little bit, yeah. It's not focused as much on the mobility aspect. Gives a lot of activation of that muscle and also a good core exercise, which we certainly need to tie into all of these sports.
Okay, and when we've done this, we need to get a little more advanced. One more?
There's always one more.
All right, so this is for extra credit. Once you've done the 3 basics, this is kind of take it next level.
Yep, so this is assuming we've got good mobility of the shoulder blades, allowing for clearance of these rotator cuff tendons, and that we've got enough strength in order to do it in the proper recruitment patterns. You're going to go into an elevated position like so. You're going to want some pretty light dumbbells here. And first you're going to go into a row, and then from here you're going to externally rotate and then back down.
That's got to be getting right in the...
Yep, so if we think about coming up for a serve here, that's where we're building some strength up. We're going to add some velocity with that. The stronger we get this cuff, able to stabilize the humeral head within the shoulder socket, it's going to help with all of that.
All right, Dr. Lee Simon here at Team Rehab Bloomfield, getting us ready for spring on JR Morning.